Alright. Alright. Please let this work well. Alright, that's live. That's live, refresh. That's live, refresh. Nope, here. Okay, we're back. Shinobi Drive. When making an ability or skill check by spending one hit dice, you are able to, on your Shinobi Drive, adding half of the spent hit dice result to your roll. Your hit die is 1d8, so that's an average of 4. This, in and of itself, you're spending a hit die. In my opinion, I don't feel like this is justified for the cost. Shinobi's focus. You've trained for countless hours. When you would make a check, attack roll, or saving throw, while you have disadvantage or are suffering from a penalty imposed by a jutsu, feature, trait, you can spend one chakra dice to treat your d20 as if you had no penalties applied to it. That's also kind of a incredibly high cost. Scouting technique. This is basically your subclass, ASI/feat. You gain an extra attack at 5th level. Jack of all, master of none. 5th level, you exemplify the idea of generalized combat. Select one of the following generalizations between combat, control, mobility, skill, and support. When you do, you gain its benefits. You can switch which generalization you have when you complete a rest. Okay, that's actually really nice. Additionally, you can spend one superiority die from your scout subclass to switch your generalization which you're benefiting from. You can only switch in this way once per short rest. So combat. You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with ninjutsu, taijutsu, and genjutsu. Genjutsu and bukijutsu. This bonus increases to +2 at 11th level. The jutsu you cast of the chosen type would gain the benefit of a seal that would provide a bonus to attack rolls. It does not gain the benefit of both this feature and that seal. Instead, you must pick one. Additionally, while you are gaining the benefits of this generalization, when you would take the attack action, you can make a weapon attack as a bonus action once per turn. I get that having an attack as a bonus action is nice, but this wholly does not seem worth it. It honestly depends on how costly it is to get a seal benefit to a jutsu, which is all in this book, by the way, which is the Shinobi Handbook. I have not read through the entire Shinobi Handbook. The main thing I've looked through has been like the basics, the weapons, the armor, the conditions, and the stances. I have not looked at all the jutsu customization in here. Control. Jutsu and maneuvers you use that would inflict a condition on a creature are even more difficult to resist. Increase the save DC of jutsus you cast and maneuvers you use that inflict a condition or inflicts a penalty by 1. Save DC boost increases by 2 at 11th level. Additionally, while you are gaining the benefit of this generalization, you gain a +D4 to class checks. This seems much better than the combat one does at the very least. Next up, we have mobility. You gain a +10 to your speed, +1 to saving throws made to resist hostile effects. These bonuses increase to +15 at 11th level. Oh, and I should probably turn this on. Okay, good. Oy vey, I did not want to move the entire freaking screen. These bonuses increase to 15 feet and +2 at 11th level. Additionally, while you're gaining the benefit of this generalization, whenever you would make a saving throw using an ability you are not proficient in to end a condition or effect placed on you by a hostile creature, you gain... Control seems better than mobility. Mobility seems better than combat. Skill. You gain a +2 bonus to all ability and skill checks. This increases to 3 at 11th level. When you're benefiting from this generalization, skill-based actions that require an action can be performed with a bonus action. Okay, this is definitely the cream of the crop out of these so far. So right now it goes skill, control, mobility, combat from best to worst. Support. You can use the help and search actions as a bonus action. When you would use a help action, you can aid an ally in attacking a creature, making a skill check in a skill you are not proficient in, or providing them some support in combat. Allowing you to spend a reaction to interpose an attack, switch the target of a hostile from an allied creature to yourself. You can complete the help action in this way, aiding an ally within 30 feet of you. Range increased 45 feet at 11th level. Additionally, while you are gaining the benefit of this generalization, creatures within weapon range, attack range who would make an attack or jutsu targeting an allied creature triggers an attack of opportunity for you. Okay. That might be better than support, than skill, so long as there's a way to gain additional attacks of opportunity. Because in 5e, I believe the rule is that doing an attack of opportunity uses your reaction. That didn't used to be the case. Attacks of opportunity were actually a special sort of action which did not use your reaction, or in the case of Pathfinder, what is known as an immediate action. You have a separate pool, especially if you took a feat called Combat Reflexes, in which Combat Reflexes was a feat that let you do a number of attacks of opportunity equal to your Dex mod per turn, which I really wish was still a thing in 5e because it makes combat so much more dynamic, and it makes Dex builds more interesting. Though, if you brought that back, you would kind of need to get rid of Dex to damage, because of part of the reason why Dex is such a strong stat in 5e is that if you're using a finesse weapon and you were wearing light or medium armor, you get your full Dex bonus or most of your Dex bonus to AC on top of the armor bonus. And there's no such thing as armor check penalty in 5e. In previous editions, any strength or Dex-based skill you reduce by an amount known as the armor check penalty, even for armor you were proficient in. Yeah! Alright, signature jutsu. At 7th level, you have found a jutsu that you specialize in better than anyone else who may have come before. Select one jutsu you know, B rank or lower. You gain one of the following benefits of your choice using the chosen jutsu. You may switch which jutsu this feature affects whenever you would learn a new jutsu leveling up in this class. Can select a second at level 15. Signature power. When you use your chosen jutsu, You deal additional damage equal to your jutsu type's ability. You also ignore resistance to your chosen jutsu's damage type, and the jutsu cast cannot be negated or dispelled the turn it is cast. Piercing resistance is okay, but there's a lot better things that you can do. But we have to see what the other two are. Signature Rampaging. When you would upcast your chosen jutsu, if your upcast adds additional die for damage, healing, temp HP, or damage reduction, add 1 additional die per rank upcast once per casting. Otherwise, increase the save DC of the chosen jutsu, if any, by +1 for every... Okay. The first portion of this, add 1 additional die, that is a lot better than the first portion of this. And this is mainly just because of adding an additional die can be useful, but most jutsus in this system already give you a good amount of damage die on use. Like, there's no, like, 1d8, okay, but E-rank jutsu are basically cantrips. Once you get to D-rank jutsu, you're getting into stuff that's like 2d8, 3d8, 2d10, 4d6, etc. Nearly every jutsu in D rank that deals damage is like that. So you really do not need additional damage die at level 7 for something like this. Unless the subclasses really like that, which we haven't gotten to yet. Signature Control. When you would cast your chosen jutsu, reduce the cost of the chosen jutsu by 2. This would reduce the cost to 0. It is instead 1. If your chosen jutsu requires concentration, reduce the cost to maintain the jutsu by 2. This can reduce the cost to maintain a jutsu below half. Okay, this one's easily the best of the 3. No doubt about it. Signature Technique. At 10th level, you temporarily commit a technique that assists you in dealing with a variety of scenarios. Complete a rest, select one of the following, which helps in building out your already broad skill set. So basically, this is trying to be a generalist. Hidden Technique. Is an action while you're at least lightly obscured, you can obtain perfect stillness. When you do, you and all allies within 5 feet of you become invisible. Along with any equipment you are wearing or carrying, and any creatures who would attempt to make any checks to search or look for you or creatures under the effect of this feature suffer a -10 penalty to checks to complete such a task until the start of your next turn. If in combat or until you would move more than half your movement speed if outside of combat. When you are gaining this benefit, if you haven't moved since your last turn, you and your allies affected by this feature cannot be found as a result of Tremor Sense, Jutsu with the Sensory keyword, or Chakra Sight. If you or an allied creature attacks a creature while benefiting from this feature, the attacking creature attack scores a critical hit if the attack result is at least 5 or greater than the target's AC. Wait. If you or an allied creature attacks a creature while benefiting. Once a critical hit has been scored this way, it cannot be triggered again until... Oh, okay. Okay. This is really interesting because of the entire part of making you and your party invisible. And there's no limit on this. At 10th level, basically permanently. This is one of the best features I've seen here. You literally cannot, you and your party not being able to be found via tremor sense, sensory, jutsu, or chakra sight. I don't know how common true sight or anything like that is in this. That is insane. And you also get an additional benefit of basically, if you hit 5 over in AC, you literally get 1 free critical hit per long rest. If you actually plan that out well, you can have like big damage in this system. Aggressive technique. You're able to fight for longer periods of time. You gain the ability to extend your fighting potential in the form of controlled breathing. On your turn, as a bonus action, you can spend in 2 hit die, regaining HP equal to 1d10 plus your scout level. Turn ability is a bonus action. You spend 2 chakra die and regain. Alright, this is obviously the worst one here. I don't even need to look at tactical, but I can tell you this is the best, this is the worst, this is in the middle. But we're still looking at tactical technique. You have a much higher affinity with tactics and planning out your movements and actions. Creatures cannot make opportunity attacks targeting you or allied creatures within 10 feet of you. Additionally, yourself and allies who begin their turns within 10 feet of you can take a dash as a bonus action. Yeah, you take hidden technique at 10 and you take tactical technique at 18. You completely ignore aggressive technique because of... Wow, this is awful. Alright, time for our first subclass. The Arbiter Scout. Superior Arbitration. 3rd level, learn typos that are fueled by a special die called Superiority Dice. You learn 3 maneuvers of your choice which are dealt in the arbitration maneuvers on the next page. You earn more at higher levels shown in the maneuvers known column of the Superiority Arbitration table. Main maneuvers enhance an attack in some way. You can use 2 maneuvers per turn when you take a long rest. You may switch 1 maneuver you know for another you qualify for. You have 3 superiority dice, which are D8. You earn more at higher levels as shown in the dice column. Bloof. Superiority dice is expended when you use it. You regain all of your expended dice after 10 minutes. Okay, that's really useful, especially if you're in an area where you can delay combat for that amount of time. That's actually really nice. Master of Arbitration. 3rd level, you learn to enforce your presence into any discussion or squabble. Gain proficiency in deception, intimidation, and persuasion all at once. You may spend a superiority dice when making any charisma-based skill check, adding the result to the check. Okay, we're already looking at something that's getting close to rivaling Hunter's unprecedented, just like, superiority of the previous classes. 6th level, whenever you would succeed on a charisma skill check against a hostile or non-allied creature, you regain 1 superiority die. You can regain a superiority die once per creature per rest. Wow, that is really good. That is really good. Battlefield Judication. At 3rd level, you become the leader your team needs in times of strife and conflict. Once per turn, when you would take the attack action in place of one of your attacks, you order your friendly creature who can see or hear you to cast a jutsu that requires an attack roll, make a weapon attack, take a skill, action, dodge, or disengage. Oh, you can command a creature in this way twice per initiative roll. Additionally, when a friendly creature makes an attack roll of any type, you can spend a superiority dice, adding the result of the roll to their attack. Holy moly. Okay, yeah, this one subclass alone is very close to Hunter's levels of sheer usefulness. Absolute authority. You and allied creatures within 30 feet of you can add half of your charisma modifier to their AC so long as they are not wearing heavy armor. Arbiter Scout, please stop being amazing. I don't know if my heart can take it. Oh my goodness. So let's see here. At level 6, you can potentially have a 22 in charisma. This means that you and all of your allies are adding +3 to your AC at all times. Oh, and if you also add on I believe there's a spell called Enhance Ability that basically lets you choose one stat, and the equivalent of those in this, that grants you a +4 to the corresponding stat temporarily. So that means that if you're using that on top of this, that means that your party is getting +4 to their AC every turn, so long as they're within 30 feet of you. That is amazing. 9th level, when you would benefit from the Master of Arbitration class feature, the creature whom you made the charisma check against makes their contesting checks with a D6 penalty. Wow! Additionally, allied creatures under the effect of a genjutsu that begin its turn within 10 feet of you remake their saving throw to end this genjutsu's effect. Creature can only benefit from this feature once per short rest. That's fine. The previous thing, because of this is a constant. This is a constant. Literally any social encounter, every single opponent that's against you has that D6 penalty. Sure, that's a average of like -2.5. Because of note that you always round down when you do negatives, you round up when you add. Sorry, forgive me. Nose is stuffy. Also, yes, I'm here early because I'm basically stuck in my place because of my condo association is doing road work. Yourself and allied creatures within 10 feet of you that make saving throws to resist genjutsu gain a bonus to this saving throw equal to half your charisma ability modifier. Again, this is amazing. Why is this so amazing? Paragon's Presence. Beginning at 14th level, all allied creatures within 30 feet of you are immune to Berserk, Charmed, and Frightened. You decide which... or Frightened. You decide which condition at the end of a short rest. Okay, that's not as good as I thought it was, but that's still pretty amazing. Just flat out immunity to one of the 3 most common status effects. Getting at 17th level, you roll d4s in place of expending superiority dice for your Master of Arbitration and Battlefield Adjudication class features. What? Oh! 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 That basically means you don't have to spend your resource in order to do it. Wow. And for a capstone, who decided that? 20th? Note that this is also the first class that's a true capstone class, by the way, which is kind of disappointing, but at the same time, I love true capstone classes. 20th level, when you would fail a saving throw of any kind, you instead pass, suffering no additional effect twice per short rest. That's basically the fighter's Indomitable. Additionally, when a creature other than you within 30 feet of you would fail a saving throw of any kind, you may spend a superiority dice. They instead pass, suffering from no additional effects. A creature can only benefit from this feature once per long rest, which means you can do it once on every single one of your party members. Yeah, that's also really good. Where did my tweet? Oh, there they are. So that's also a really good capstone feature. Dang. And we also now get to your arbiter maneuvers. Assisted accuracy. You may spend a superiority dice targeting one allied creature. When you do, the next time they would make an attack of any type, they add half the result to the attack roll. On a successful hit, the allied creature's attack, if you make the same type of attack targeting the same creature on your next turn, you add the same superiority die to your attack roll. That's interesting, but that also, remember, your dice are D8, so if it's half, you always round down, meaning that you, on average, are getting a +2 to this. +2 is 10% chance to hit, but I feel like there's better things you can use your dice on in this. Assisted control. You may spend a superiority dice targeting one allied creature within 30 feet of you. When you do, the next time they would force a hostile creature to make a saving throw of any type, they add half the result to the save DC minimum 1. If a hostile creature failed this saving throw of your allied creature, if you make an attack of any type targeting one of the failing creatures on your next turn, you add the same superiority dice to your first damage roll. Okay, this is better because of you're adding the bonus to the DC, and it's harder to give bonuses to DCs than it is to give bonuses to attack rolls. Assisting defense. You may spend one superiority die targeting one allied creature within 30 feet. When you do, the next time they would make a saving throw of any type, they add half the die to the result on it. Successful save, you add the same die to your next saving throw before the end of your next turn. Okay, this one, in my opinion, is genuinely probably the least useful, mainly because of not only do they have to be the target of a saving throw, but you cannot be the target of the same saving throw, and you have to be a target of a different saving throw before the start of your next turn. And that is too many variables to realistically make that useful. Assisted power. You may spend a superiority dice targeting one allied creature within 30 feet of you. When you do, the next time they would make an attack of any type, they add twice the result to their damage roll. On a successful hit of the allied creature's attack, if you make the same type of attack targeting the same creature on your next turn, you add the same damage to your roll. Okay, is it saying that you're adding the double the superiority die, or you're adding just the die itself damage? Because this is depending on how you're playing, and especially if you're focus firing, this can be really good. But honestly, all these have been decent, but none of them have stood out so far. Assisted expertise. You can expend one die targeting an ally. When you do, the next time they would make a skill of any type, they add the die to the check. On a successful skill check from the allied creature, if you make a skill check on your next turn, you can add the superiority die to your check. Okay, this is the best one so far. Note that you start with 3 of these and you end up with 6. And there's a total of 10. Leader's example. On a successful hit, select one ally. Oh no, this is when you make a melee attack and you add the result to your roll. On a successful hit, one allied creature. If that creature makes the same type of attack targeting the same creature, they add the result to their next attack roll. Alright, this is actually better than the assisted accuracy, mainly because of assisted accuracy means that you are dependent on your ally. This one is they are dependent on you, which is generally better. And also, since not only are you gaining the full benefit of the die, they are gaining the full benefit of the die. Sorry. Nose is not cooperating. Leader's authority. When you hit a creature with an attack, or a creature fails a saving throw against Jutsu, you can spend 1 superiority die. All hostile creatures within 15 feet of you must make a wisdom save versus your save DC, gaining 1 rank of fear. Okay. So, I am not going to directly go to this page in the other book, but I am going to flip to it in the... Because if I printed out this book, and this book, but I have not printed out the Jutsu book yet. Mainly because it's over 300 pages, which is 150 double-sided. Okay, so having a rank of fear means that it gets -1 to its saving throws for each rank it has. That is not a saving throw. That is each saving throw. They must make concentration checks at the beginning of each of their turns to maintain concentration on their jutsus. At the end of their turn, they make a DC 13 Charisma ability check. On a success, they remove 1 rank of Demoralized. After 10 minutes, creature who still has ranks of Demoralizes loses all ranks of it. Well, Fear. Fear and Demoralized are the same thing. As an action, they can make a DC 20 Charisma check to remove all ranks of fear it has. So, okay. This is actually really, really nice. Though the DC 13 Charisma check is relatively low, but it's still honestly pretty good. Leader's Presence. When you hit a creature with an attack roll or a creature fails its saving throw against a jutsu you cast within, you can expend 15 feet. All allied creatures within 15 feet of you can feel your presence automatically ending one mentor security-based condition concurrently afflicting them. Okay, so this I have to double check, but I think that means one rank, not one stack. So that is potentially useful, but at other times it may not be. Assisted expertise, leader's example, and leader's authority has been so far by far the biggest breadwinners here. Leader's will. When you hit a creature with an attack or a creature fails a saving throw, you can expend a superiority die. When you do, if you are under any effects or conditions require you to make a saving throw that you failed, you immediately remake the saving throw, adding your superiority dice to the result of your saving throw. Okay, this one is very much personal, and it's more situational, but this helps it so that way you yourself last longer. Arbitration, you can spend one die targeting all creatures of your choice within 60 feet. All selected creatures must succeed at a Wisdom or Int save, your choice, versus your Ninjutsu or Genjutsu save DC. On a failed save, they become unable to willingly lie, deceive, or even speak a hostile tone or nature towards you and other creatures allied with you, instead preferring to find a middle ground or one both sides can benefit from. I actually really like this. Since it can be a Wisdom or Int save. That's actually really nice. Alright. That was just the first subclass. Assault Scout. Superior Assault. This is... Oh, this time they're D4s, not D8s. Okay. And you only get 7 superiority dice versus 7 maneuvers, where the other one got 8 dice versus 6 maneuvers. Brutus Assault. Whenever you hit with a melee or ranged attack and deal damage, you deal additional damage equal to your... Oh, so you're adding a D4 to your damage roll. Okay. That's a lot weaker than the previous one. Durability. At 3rd level, once per short rest, whenever you make a saving throw, you may add half a superiority die to the result. This does not spend the die. You would use this feature again before completing a short rest. You spend a superiority die to activate this feature an additional time. Applying this bonus to his death saving throw increases to 20 or higher. Gain the bonus of rolling a nat 20. Okay, this is potentially useful. The problem is that the Arbiter got something like this, and they use D8s, not D4s. So this is worse than the Arbiter. Untapped potential at 6th level. Your die begins to grow in strength as you do. It grows to a D6. It repeats this process at 9th to a D8, at 14th to a D10, and 17th to a D12. Okay. I want to emphasize this to people, since a lot of people don't understand this due to 5e's logic. 5e loves D12s. Genuinely, D12s are quite honestly the single worst dice that you can roll. Because of statistically, it only gives you a +1 to the average damage, but you have a greater chance of rolling worse than you did on a D10. That's the problem. So it is better to increase it to 2d6 than a d12, especially if you're getting this at 17th level. Additionally, once per turn, whenever you would score a crit with an attack roll or roll a natural 20 on a saving throw, you regain 1 superiority die. That's nice, but that's based on if you roll crits. If you don't roll crits, this is completely useless. So already this is looking substantially less useful than the Arbiter is. Devastating, no wait, Remarkable Athlete. At 9th level, you can spend a superiority die adding the result to any strength, deck, or con check you make. So you're adding a D8, but you have to spend the dice. You have less dice, so that's potentially not as useful of a pool. Devastating Critical. At 14th level, when you score a crit with a melee attack, you gain a bonus to that attack's damage equal to your scout. Okay, so you're getting plus 14 damage. When you score a critical hit with a ranged attack, you gain a bonus to that attack's damage roll equal to half your scout ninja level. So plus 7 at that level. That plus 7 to damage is okay. But in my honest opinion, it's better if you have a way to deal status effects or do crowd control than doing outright damage. Damage is not king. Crowd control is king. Survivor. At 17th level, you attain the pinnacle of resilience in battle. Start of each of your turns. You regain HP equal to 5 plus your con mod. If you have less than half your hit points left. Oh, you don't? Okay. Nope, never mind. This is completely useless. If you are getting hit by level 17 and you're a full caster, something's wrong. Relentless Assault. At 20th level, you can select one of the following defensive effects and ignore it when dealing damage to a hostile creature. You may take this must make this decision when you declare your attack or use damaging jutsu and cannot change it until the beginning of your next turn. Temp HP, resistance, immunity, damage reduction. Okay. At 20th level, you should have more than enough ways to deal damage of different types. You're a full caster. Act like it. And now for the assault maneuvers. Amplified Force. When you cast a jutsu that forces a creature to make a saving throw of any kind, you spend up to 3 dice and increase the saving DC by 1 for each one spent. And adding the spent die to the damage roll. When you do, affected creatures, they gain twice. No, bad. Unless you have a jutsu, because of note, this would be specifically based on jutsu. Unless you have a jutsu that deals a lot of condition ranks at once, like if you have a jutsu that does like 3 or 4 ranks of lacerated, this would be great. But otherwise, no. Amplified Crippling. When you hit a creature with an attack, you can expend a superiority die to cripple its movement. Add twice the number rolled to the damage rolls of the attack. The creature must make a strength save versus your attack's save DC if weapon unarmed taijutsu, or have its movement speed halved. A creature must make action to make an athletics check. this is even worse. This is worse than amplified force. Amplified critical. Spend up to 3 superiority die. First attack made increases its critical threat range by 1 for each one spent. On a critical hit, add twice the number of dice spent to the damage roll. Okay, this is useful. This one feature alone can make this into a Punisher build. And I am genuinely surprised of that. But also, you can declare an attack with a jutsu in this system. That can lead to some really wonky stuff. Amplified knockback. You can expend 1 superiority die to knock the opponent back. You add twice the die's result to the attack's damage roll. The target is thrown back a number of feet equal to 5 times the result of the dice and falls prone. Creature's movement is interrupted by a solid surface. Takes twice the falling damage every 10 feet you would have thrown them. Okay. Amplified knockback is taking second place right now, where these two are taking trips to the dumpster. Amplified strikes. When you would make a weapon attack or unarmed attack or cast a jutsu that requires an attack roll, you can expend 1 dice. Recording the result. Select a number of creatures within 5 feet of your first target. Add your die to the first attack roll of the jutsu cast. On a hit, the initial target and all selected targets suffer the damage of the attack as if they were the original target. This does not inflict any effects the jutsu would normally inflict to a creature hit by it to chosen adjacent creatures. Okay. So you can use 2 maneuvers a turn. You can use amplified strikes and amplified critical in the same turn. Meaning, you can have a weapon that has a high crit rate. That is a thing in this system. You can spend... you spend 2 dice on amplified critical and 1 die on amplified strikes. If your natural crit range is 18 to 20, you now crit on 16 to 20. That is a 25% crit chance. If you are rolling that at an advantage, that means you have a... Derp, that was not the right button. I wanted to press that one. Okay, this one... I don't think that's right. I think you have like a 56% chance of scoring a crit. I may be wrong on that. I'm doing this quick hand, so I may be wrong on that. And if you were... Okay. Because of it says you're adding twice the number of dice spent to the damage roll. Oh no, it's twice the number of dice spent. Not you're adding twice the number of dice to the damage roll of the dice you spent. Okay, that makes it actually a lot worse. Because if then on rolling 2 for this, that means you're adding 4 to the crit damage. Okay, that makes it a lot worse. Menacing Assault, spend 1 die to frighten everything around you. The next time you would make an attack, add twice your die's result to the attack's damage roll. And all creatures within 20 feet of you of your choice must make a wisdom save versus the save DC. If weapon or unarmed taijutsu, on a failed save, affected creatures gain 1 rank of fear. A creature who would deal damage to you ends the fear condition on itself. Due to that last line, that actually makes this a lot worse. Menacing Precision, you make an attack roll. Against a creature, you can spend 1 superiority die to add the result to the roll. You can use this maneuver before or after making the attack roll, but before any effects of the attack are applied. On successful hit, you gain half the original roll to the next attack you make for the end of your next turn. Successful hit of the second attack, you gain half the original attack superiority die roll. Huh? That's weird. That's super weird. Menacing Feint. When you would miss with an attack, you can spend 1 die. Next time you would make an attack against the same creature before the end of the current turn, you can add twice the number rolled to the damage roll of that attack. On a hit, wow, these are just... I thought they could be synergistic, but because of how Amplified Critical's last line is, this is meh. Menacing Retaliation. When you would take damage from an attack from a creature within range of one of your unarmed weapon or melee jutsu-based attacks, you can spend 1 die in your reaction to make 1 unarmed or weapon attack, or cast 1 jutsu that requires you to make no more than 1 melee or ranged attack roll. Wow, that is also terrible. So, okay, we went from the Arbiter being the best thing since sliced bread to Assault being like, I showed up and I'm here to try and do damage, but I'm not great at actually doing anything besides damage. Alright, I need to take this blanket off. Me getting warm now. Oh wow, it's 2 o'clock. I wanted to get through at least 2 of these classes. Cloning Scout. 3rd level, you gain maneuvers. 8 superiority dice, 6 maneuvers known. Your dice are D8s. Tajo Kuge Bunsen. You add Shadow Clone Technique Ninjutsu and can learn any ninjutsu with the clone keyword, excluding jutsu with the he-jutsu keyword. When you do summon a shadow clone, you can take the hide action as part of summoning the clone, as if you were obscured. While you're hidden in this manner, hostile creatures cannot tell you apart from your clones till they take the search action to discern you from the rest of your clones. If you're within 30 feet of 2 or more clones, they make the check at advantage. You also increase the maximum number of clones you can summon using ninjutsu with the clone keyword. Ninjutsu clone summon using ninjutsu with clone keyword have their duration increased to 10 minutes, can be up to 120 feet away from you, and can be commanded to split up and follow you. This is very thematic, but I'm like, I would have to look at every single clone jutsu in the system, which I kind of don't want to do right now. A clone can only be commanded to take skill-based action 1 per summoning. Okay, clone technique. At 3rd level, clones you summon which have restrictions on jutsu keywords no longer have such restrictions and can cast any jutsu you know as if they were a shadow clone. Spend 1 die or chakra die to summon a clone as if casting a ninjutsu, you know, that summons clones. Excuse me. When you do not spend chakra and treat that clone as if you summoned it at the highest rank. Huh? At 6th level, once per turn, whenever a clone you summon would score a critical hit or rolling at 20 with an attack roll, skill check, or saving throw, you gain 1 superiority die. Okay, that's once per turn. Alright, that's actually pretty good. And is probably the most common source of superiority dice restoration we've seen so far. Clones everywhere. At 6th level, when you would summon clones as a result of ninjutsu with the clone keyword, you summon an additional clone, no additional cost. This does not work if a clone is summoned as a result of the clones technique feature. When a clone would deal damage, increase the damage die used by 1 step. Increase their damage die by an additional step at 14th and 17th levels. When 2 or more shadow clones you summoned would cast a jutsu or make an attack targeting the same creature, they instead gain a 1d6 bonus to its damage roll for each additional clone aiding the lead clone. This already sounds super complicated and would kind of need a map. Like, seriously. And, oh my goodness. Yeah, this 9th level clones you summon can use maneuvers, you know, spending your die. Movement speed is increased up to 60 feet. Gain proficiency in your saving throws and can maintain concentration on your jutsu they cast for +1 of your turns. Dislead clones whose damage would be reduced as a result of being a clone reduces their damage die penalty by 1. This increases to 2 at 17th level. Also, when you attempt to learn, modify, or create jutsu, your clones help reduce the time needed. Reduce the downtime cost to learn, create, and modify jutsu by an amount equal to the rank of the jutsu. Oh, that's where it landed. Ugh. 14th level, when you would take damage from an attack or fail a saving throw from a jutsu that deals damage, spend 1 die as a reaction and record the result. You can cast a ninjutsu with the clone keyword of your choice and summon a number of clones equal to half the result of the die, minimum 1, up to the jutsu's maximum. Alternatively, when one of your clone dies, you may spend your reaction to use your clone technique class feature, commanding it as part of the same reaction. Summoning a clone in this way does not spend a superiority die. Can only summon clones using either method of this feature twice per rest. If you attempt to use this feature any additional times after the first 2, it costs 1 superiority die or chakra die per use. The superiority die makes sense. The chakra die is like super duper costly. Clone Master, at 17th level, you can cast Shadow Clone technique as a bonus action. What do? You can command your clones as part of the same action. 20th level, select 1 clone maneuver. Your clones can perform this maneuver without expending a superiority dice once per turn. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm not. Oh, wait, I forgot to change pages. I am not even going to look at the clone maneuvers because of this subclass. Okay, is this better than Assault? Yes. Is this better than Arbiter? No. But do I think that is a player this would be easy to play? No. This is a subclass that you have to like, one, you are guaranteed to need a map to play this subclass. If you're doing Theater of the Mind, this subclass does not work. It does not work because of you will have too many clones on the field for it to be useful. If you have to be using an actual VTT or an actual tabletop for this to be usable. So I'm not even going to look at these cloning maneuvers, because of the fact that I don't think that they'd be feasible in actual gameplay. Next up, we have the Barrier Scout. D8 superiority dice, okay? Regain it after 10 minutes, same as everyone else. Chakra Barrier, you learn to manifest a powerful barrier of chakra. Whenever you complete a rest of any type, you create a chakra barrier for yourself or an allied creature that completes this rest with you. Barrier remains attached to your chosen target until you complete a rest of any type. The chakra barrier has hit points equal to twice your character level. Your character barrier's hit points are treated as temporary HP, but cannot be ignored, removed, or dispelled by hostile effects excluding damage. Whenever the benefiting creature takes damage, the barrier intercepts the damage, taking it... Actually, wait. I need to make a little thing here in the actual physical book. I need to make sure I denote something. Okay. Whenever you complete a rest of any type, you create a chakra barrier for yourself or an allied creature that completes the rest with you. Barrier remains attached to your chosen target until you complete a rest of any type. Chakra barrier has HP equal to twice your character level. Your chakra barrier's HP are treated as temp HP but cannot be ignored, removed, or dispelled by hostile effects. Whenever the benefiting creature takes damage, the barrier intercepts the damage, taking it in the creature's place. This damage reduces the barrier to 0 HP. Benefiting creature take any remaining damage and cannot absorb any further damage until it regains said hit points in one of the following ways. When you regain temp HP, you can cause the chakra barrier to regain HP equal to the amount. If your chakra barrier is already at max, you can instead gain the temp HP. When you would gain damage reduction as a result of Jutsu, you can choose to instead cause your chakra barrier to regain HP equal to twice the amount of the DR. When you would gain a bonus to AC, you can choose to instead have the barrier regain HP equal to 3 times the AC you would gain. Okay, so for this option is by far the best, since there's a lot of options in this system to regain temp HP. But why would you be trading DR for temp HP? Never trade AC for temp HP. That is just stupid. While your chakra barrier has HP, you gain a 1d4 bonus to checkmate to maintain concentrate. This is kind of not needed. 6th level, once per round, you regain 1 superiority die when you would reduce the damage you or an allied creature would take to half or less is the result. This is the worst one yet. This is the worst one specifically in regards to restoring your superiority ties. Like, straight up. Also, I love how this is the first series of subclasses that are not in alphabetical order. Because a Barrier Scout is after Cloning Scout. Did you notice that? Projected Barrier. 3rd level, you know how to manipulate the barrier, such as Chakra Sphere or Repelling Burst. You can use any combination of these a number of times to give you a proc bonus per long rest. If you attempt to use this feature any additional times, it costs 1 superiority die or chakra die per use. Chakra Sphere. As a reaction, you can expand your chakra barrier to a 15-foot radius centered on you until the start of your next turn. Allied creatures of your choice inside the barrier that would take damage, reduce damage. They take by 1 damage die to a minimum of half the damage rolled. Minimum 1. This increases to 2 at 9th and 3 at 17th. Okay, this is weird because this is a reactionary technique that decreases damage dice. That is mean to the GM. Because if that means they have to re-roll their damage. Because if normally, most GMs roll attack and damage together. But passively convert your chakra into barriers hit points far more efficiently at the beginning of each of your next turns while in combat while you have the chakra barrier. Regains HP equal to your grammar. That really isn't interesting. Remember that you started a proc bonus of 3 and go up to 9 in this. But this starts at 6 HP. By 6th level, it's at 12. And at 6th level, I believe you're only at a +5? No, you're at a +4. It goes to +5 at the next level. So you're restoring 1/3 of its health each turn. 9th level, you learn how to reinforce your allies to fight on past their injuries. As a bonus action, you select 3 allied creatures. Selected allies gain temp HP equal to the result of your die plus for 10 minutes. You can use this feature twice per rest. Alright, next one. Mastered Barrier. You've mastered your ability to bend, manipulate, enhance, and reinforce your chakra barrier, granting you an additional variation to your projected barrier class feature called Heavy Guard. By spending 1... Nope, automatically terrible, throw it out. Adaptive Shielding. 17th level, when your chakra barrier takes damage, you can have it gain resist subsequent damage of that type until the start of your next turn. Takes damage of more than one type simultaneously, you can... Okay, this is also terrible because of it's a 17th level feature. Sure, gaining a resistance to damage type up until your next turn is interesting, but if you're 17th level, the opponent should have enough damage. Why is... Uh-oh. Oh, the stream disconnected. Yep, the stream disconnected, had 2,700 drop frames in a matter of seconds, and because of the fact it's considering it only from when the stream disconnected, yeah. 40, 48, 47. The number of drop frames has not increased, but the number keeps dropping, and I find that funny. 44. $41. Okay. Sorry if I did not notice that. It just stream disconnected, reconnected. At 17th level, you should be coming up against enemies that have so many damage types on them that the feature will not have much utility. Because if the enemies should be smart enough to change what damage type they're using against you. 20th level, you apply your chakra. Each creature gains a chakra bear. Okay, just no. This is the worst capstone. Defensive enhancement. They gain a bonus to the next saving throw equal to half their result. Failed save, they gain temp HP equal to 3 times. Defensive goading. When you would deal damage, you can expend 1 die, you add the damage, and the target has disadvantage on all attack rolls against targets other than you until the end of your next turn. Here's the problem with defensive goading. This does not work if an enemy is using saving throws. And because of a lot of jutsus use saving throws. What's going on? Why is the stream doing this? Bad, 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 bad. $37.38. $35%. Nope, it just spiked again. $38.88. 902. Okay, I have to re-end and restart. Great.